Good evening, everyone. I am very fortunate to know several of you ophthalmologists in the crowd this evening as both colleagues and as friends. And you may be wondering why you have a dermatologist and a Mohs surgeon up here speaking at a Prevent Blindness of Georgia event. And I get the honor to introduce Dr. Taz to you all this evening. Let me start with this. Behind every gift, there is a story. In the last 1.5 years, I've had the pleasure of working with Prevent Blindness of Georgia through both volunteering efforts and personally donating. I am involved because of my son, Will Gira. Will has a genuine interest in vision health, and he recently taught me the importance of vision health. At 5 years old, Will was lucky to have a pivotal vision screening at his pediatrician's office. And that vision screening picked up on something important and said that he needed to go get further vision testing. And he was referred to Dr. Steve Lipsky. And Dr. Steve Lipsky diagnosed Will with amblyopia. And Will was fortunate to have his amblyopia corrected through, wearing prescription eyeglasses. Will actually really realized how lucky he was to have his condition be caught so early. The short story is, as Will became a teenager, he actually reached out to PBGA and said, hey, how can I get involved with your organization? And PBGA was so gracious and honestly humble to let a teenager become involved. And he got involved with volunteering at vision screening. And this year, he actually helped to found and create PBGA's inaugural Teen Leadership Program. What Will and the teen leaders have learned is that healthy vision is important, that there should not be barriers for children to be screened, and that good vision can ultimately affect outcomes like education and other opportunities. So Will and the teen leaders, can you stand? I think it's wonderful to have teenagers here to learn. Dr. Taz is also a fellow colleague and a good friend. Since I've been serving on the Night for Sight Gala committee, I was thrilled to learn that she was being considered for the Georgia Visionary Award. Now listen, Dr. Taz is truly a superwoman. She's a wonderful wife to her husband, Dr. Vic Bhatia, and an amazing mother to her 2 children, Kabi and Rania, who are cheering for her. Dr. Taz is a true Georgian. She spent most of her childhood growing up here in Georgia, and she went to the schools Westminster, Emory, UGA, and the Medical College of Georgia. She ultimately started her practice here in Atlanta. She is now a rock star physician and a pioneer of integrative medicine. Because she had her own personal health issues, she saw the value of merging Western and Eastern medicine. I have personally seen how integrated medicine has helped so many of my own patients. So Taz had her own personal issues and health issues, but she was not someone who wanted to complain about it. She wanted to do more to not only help herself, but to help others. She grew her single practice here in Atlanta to now an expanding practice across the country that embraces holistic and integrated medicine, and it's called Whole Plus. Her practices are located in Atlanta, New York City, and Los Angeles. You may see her on TV frequently because she is a Today contributor and a Fox 5 News expert. She has written multiple books, from her first landmark book, The 21-Day Belly Fix, to her recent book, The Hormone Shift, that is now one of the best-selling menopausal books. She has about 250,000 Instagram followers and has an award-winning podcast. Dr. Taz is an example of perseverance. And after hearing all of this, you may be very intimidated by her. I was, but she is one of the most gracious and humble people you will ever meet. I am honored to be her fellow physician, but most importantly, a friend.
My name is Dr. Taz. I'm an integrative health and wellness expert. I've had almost a 30-year journey in medicine. A lot of it began with me getting sick. I was a traditional MD. I was working first in pediatrics, then in the emergency rooms. Got sicker and sicker, started having a lot more symptoms, not able to focus and concentrate. I needed to figure this out. I needed to get answers. I learned about things like diet, the importance of sleep, hormone balancing, the nutrients I was missing. Over the course of another year and a half, I got better. What I didn't realize, so many other people were having the exact same experience, bouncing around, not getting answers, not having a quarterback for their care. I spent the last 20 years building Whole Plus, a one-stop shop health ecosystem. We're a full-service family practice. We see everybody from newborns to seniors and everyone in between. Most of us went into healthcare because we wanted to make a difference. The mission of Prevent Blindness, how can we make a difference driven around the eyes as an opportunity to open up a conversation around your overall health? We've got to have intellectual flexibility, emotional endurance, and we've got to have the space and the time to interact with our patients. The eye, just like so many other parts of the body, is a window to your health. Symptoms of the eye, changes in your vision, changes in how your eye looks. You can learn so much about a patient, and more importantly, you, the patient, can learn so much about yourself. Good medicine involves communicating with your patient, being their ally and their quarterback, helping them coordinate their care, but also being their partner and listening to them. There's an emotional load that comes with being a healthcare provider. For that relationship to really work, we have a responsibility for our own individual emotional and energetic health, because you bring a whole different energy, dynamic, frequency to the interaction that you have with your patient. I truly want to see a difference in medicine and truly want to see a difference in the world. Incredibly grateful and incredibly honored to get this award. It's made me think differently what my responsibility is as I go out into the world. I hope the legacy that I leave is a model bringing in together different systems of medicine, but at the same time take care of themselves.
Dr. Taz is one of those rare leaders who expands your thinking just by being in the same room. Her passion for delivering high-quality integrative care, not only here in Atlanta, but with vision to expand around the world, is undeniable. Giving back, lifting others up, and always leading with purpose. She levels up everyone around her, inspiring us to think bigger and serve more. Thank you for your vision and integrity.
Congratulations, sweetheart, on being nominated. We're always in awe of what you do, not only for your patients, but for society in general and for the family. You wrote a book, Superwoman RX. You truly are a superwoman. I have no earthly idea how do you find time to do all of that and do it well. We love you and we thank you for what you do for society and us.
Dr. Taz, come on up.
Thank you for this, guys. When Amy let me know, I wasn't expecting an award. I am so honored. I'm probably at a little bit of a loss for words, but so grateful for everybody in this room, right? And for what we all do every day. And I think one of the things, Amy was like, you have to make a speech. And I'm like, okay. And as I was thinking, most of us, I think, kind of what I said in the video, most of us are healthcare providers. And we went into medicine with really good intentions, right? We went into medicine to help people, to push, someone forward, to empower them, to really live their best life. And as we talked about in the video, I started my career in pediatrics. And anytime I talk, I try to check myself on where we are in medicine today and what's happening kind of in the field. And I was honestly disappointed because 18% of children in Georgia today live under the poverty line, and we are 37th in the nation when it comes to the well-being of our kids. And when I started in pediatrics and did my first rotation in pediatrics at Medical College of Georgia, and they would do this program where we would do home visits, and I remember driving out to Swainsboro. I don't know if anybody here is from Swainsboro, but I remember driving out to Swainsboro and doing home visits. Amy is, right? Amy, I was in your town, but anyhow, so again, I remember then, 30 years ago, thinking about the disparity, right? We were doing these home visits. They didn't have electricity. They didn't have, basic, healthy food that they could take and use. And then I moved on and I went to residency, and there we dealt with a population that didn't have books to read, and so we started a program called Reach Out and Read. And then, of course, I derailed and went into the field of integrative and holistic medicine, where every single day we're advocating for our patients to own their health and move their health forward. But here's the issue with all of it, that as we try to work in a model of medicine that's broken, quite honestly, and try to change people's lives every single day, whether you're talking about vision and eyeglasses and trying to help people see, or you're talking about food access and food deserts, or you're dealing with things like domestic violence and abuse, we still have so much work to do in medicine. And whatever we're doing, it can seem daunting and it can seem overwhelming. We have a broken system, we have doctors that are burned out, we have models of medicine that don't really advocate and represent the patient. And then we have a population that's completely underserved. So it feels like, are we really making a difference? And when I looked at those numbers this morning, I was like, what has happened over 30 years? Have we really pushed the needle forward when it comes to caring for our youth and even for our adults and our seniors? And it's tempting to say no, but the reality is every micro movement that any provider makes or does in any sphere is moving the needle forward. So whether you're giving out glasses and doing vision screenings, or you're trying to provide services to get people in to see the doctor, or you're advocating for the doctor to be able to spend more time with their patient, or you're advocating for the patient to be able to speak up to their doctor, it doesn't matter. We're still moving the needle, although slowly, hopefully forward. And when we sit in a landscape of healthcare today where we're having an active debate as we speak with what healthcare is and who deserves it and how do you get it and what happens next, we have to remember to not get lost in all that noise and to return to the root of why we all began this journey in the first place. We wanted to make things better. We wanted to move people forward. And you guys are doing that every single day. So I'm humbled, I'm honored to be here, and I want to thank you all for including me in your incredible night, and kudos to all of you for the work you do every single day. Thank you so much.